This video is brought to you by the Disc Golf Nerd Patreon support team. Go to patreon.com/discgolfnerd. What's up, guys? So with disc golf being shut down right now in the Portland area, I thought this would be as good a time as any to go over some of my disc golf pet peeves. Everything is not beautiful and perfect in the game of disc golf. There are definitely some things that I find to be frustrating and parts of the kind of disc golf culture that get on my nerves, and I wanted to vent some of that stuff right now because what I really wish I was doing was I wish I was out on the course throwing shots with my friends, filming stuff for you guys and all that. Can't do that, so I'm here making content. And I wanted to break down just some things that get on my nerves. None of this is meant to insult or demean anybody out there, so hopefully you guys don't take any offense to this. Just me having some fun, venting, and just talking about some disc golf related things that are less than awesome in my opinion. So this is not really a top 5, but I do have 5 different things, so let's break them down. No particular order. Number 5, internet distance. Now, internet distance has kind of subsided a little bit with the ability to actually measure throws with UDisc, but I don't really feel like those measurements are all that accurate. I feel like they might be a little generous at times. I don't really know. But in general, and we've seen this for years, you know, you see an amateur player and they're in the bag video and they're, oh, this is my T-Bird, I use this up to like 450. No, you don't, man. I'm sorry. You don't use your T-Bird up to 450 unless you're a pro. You're not. I'm just not buying it. And we've seen this for years. And it's funny when you actually go and you look at like distance competitions at like a world championships and you see what some of these really high level players are throwing out there when they're throwing for raw distance. Some of the numbers are less than impressive, and then we get, you know, into some video and somebody's talking about throwing 500 feet like it's nothing. And for some of the players, the top few guys, it is, you know, they can throw those huge numbers and it's ridiculous. It makes no sense. But for the amateur players, just stop it. You're not throwing 500 feet. You're not throwing 520. I don't care what UDisc said. I'm just not buying it. It's been a thing forever. People have been embellishing that sort of thing for years. I honestly don't even know how far I really throw. I don't care. Like, I don't care about the actual number. It doesn't really make that much difference to me. I'm just trying to throw the shots that I want. I want them to fly on the right angles. You know, I want them to get out there as far as I can, of course, but in terms of the actual numbers, I've never even really paid attention because I also don't trust the distances marked on T signs. You know, you get out to a course and the T sign says one number. A lot of times I don't feel like those are terribly accurate either, so who cares? It's all really silly, but internet distance is hilarious. If you're not a pro, I'm not buying it. Leave it alone. Moving on from internet distance. The next one is people that are really particular about the weight of their discs. You see this a lot when you're trading and selling discs. I've had people tell me, oh no, I don't want that disc, it's 172 grams, I only throw max weight. Okay, so max weight for that driver is 174. So we're talking about 2 grams. 2 grams. 2 grams? 3 grams? Do you really think that's making a discernible difference in the way your disc is flying? Really? Do you think you are so consistent that you can even notice the difference between a disc that's 3 grams different from another disc in your throwing form when you're out there on the course? Please think about this for a minute. Here's another thing about disc weights that people don't kind of understand. One of the dirty secrets about disc weights, it's not always accurate. When I go to the Disc Golf Depot, Jerry has a postal scale there. You can put the discs on there to weigh your discs before you actually buy them to see what weight they are, because a lot of times he has a lot of stuff that's used and whatever else, and you want to check it. I can't tell you how many times I've taken a disc off the rack, read the weight either on the weight sticker from Discraft or the weight marked on the bottom from Innova, put it on the scale only to determine that it is not correct. Sometimes not even close, sometimes 5-6 grams different than it's marked. So the people are so particular about the disc weights, and I get it, and you know, you try to control every little aspect that you can to make the discs work the best for you. But when people won't buy a disc, won't throw a disc because it's a couple of grams different from their preferred weight, it blows my mind, and I can't imagine too many of them are actually scaling discs to make sure that the weights they think they are actually correct. There are times where I've scaled a disc that says 170, 171, and it's been like an illegal disc, an overweight disc, like 177 for a driver. That happens too. There are times where a disc is marked 175 grams and you put it on the scale, it's actually like 178, and it's technically an illegal disc. That kind of thing happens as well. So don't get so banana shaped about a couple of grams here or there. If you're talking about like a 150 class disc compared to something 170 plus, you're talking about a 165 gram driver compared to a 175 gram driver, then you're going to notice differences. But if you're talking about 171 to 174, you know, I don't want that disc, it's too light, it's only 171, I like 173. Just stop, just stop. This is fun, getting some stuff off my chest here. Okay, the next one is nicing. This might not be the way you guys think I'm going with this. It's not that I think it's bad to say, you know, nice a disc while it's flying. The thing that annoys me are the people that think that that has any possibility within the laws of physics in the universe to have any discernible effect on the flight of that disc. Please, it's important to me that you know that there is no way that is possible. And if you do believe that me saying, ooh, nice shot, while your disc is flying has the ability to alter that shot, you're opening the door for the entire understanding of our universe to change. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying here? You're opening the door for everything to be perceived differently if you actually believe that there is any way in the laws of nature that that is possible to happen. Now, this is pretty rare. I feel like it's a fraction of the community, a very small fraction of the community that actually takes offense to people saying, ooh, nice shot, or you niced me, and you caused me to hit a tree late or something because you said nice shot. I mean, if somebody actually took offense to that, like during a tournament round, and you know, I've heard about this. I've heard about people during tournaments actually getting mad at somebody for saying nice when their disc is flying, thinking that it had some kind of effect on the negative outcome at the end of the flight. I mean, that's just the most absurd thing in the world to me. And if you're one of those people, please just think about it logically for just a second. And you know in your heart that there is no way that could ever be possible. Just period. End of story. Please, it's important to me that you understand that. Like Ben Wyatt says. Okay. Next one is a little bit lighter. Signing ace discs. This is a tradition that I want to go away. Now, never mind signing the basket. I mean, that's a whole different thing that's completely ridiculous as well. Do not sign the basket, guys. If you get an ace, take a picture of it in the basket. You know, if you don't have a camera or something, that sucks. Don't sign the basket. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to see your ugly Sharpie. Don't put your stickers on the basket. Absolutely no one wants your ugly band sticker on the basket. That drives me absolutely nuts as well. Just leave the basket alone. Don't draw on it. Don't write on it. Don't put your freaking sticker on it. None of that stuff. Man, that really frustrates me. But if you're playing around with me and I get an ace, you're not signing my disc. I'm sorry. I'm not letting whatever person scribble on my disc and write whatever you want with a Sharpie because you were there when I aced a hole. It's not happening. Andy's gotten really mad at me about this because I wouldn't let him sign a disc because I knew he was going to write and draw something ridiculous on one of my discs. He tried to do it anyway. You guys have probably seen it on camera. It ended up looking like a dinosaur. That was not his intent. But it's not happening, guys. If you're on the card with me and I get an ace, you're not signing my disc. You're not writing anything on my disc with Sharpie. I'm the only one who writes anything on my discs, and I'm very particular about what it is. I like to have it on the inside rim. If it's an opaque disc, I'll write on the bottom because I don't care. But the idea of having just random dudes scribble and write all over one of my discs because they happen to watch me throw an ace, it's not happening. And I think it's a tradition that should definitely go away. Now, if you like that and you want your actual friends to actually sign the disc in some earnest way and, oh, I was here, nice shot, and you know, one of your good buddies wants to write on it and you're cool with that, that's totally fine. But for me personally, none of y'all are writing anything on my disc, ever. And finally, people that make really bad suggestions when people are looking for a disc. It blows my mind. If somebody says, hey, I'm looking for a really great overstable putter, right? They post it on Facebook or something in the buy and sell group. I'm looking for a really nice overstable putter, I bet you $1 million that at least a few people will suggest mid-ranges. I'll just get a justice. Dude, like, you failed immediately, and now it gets so much worse than that. There are so many horrendous suggestions that people leave on those type of posts. Some of them are purposely bad. You know, somebody says, oh, I'm looking for a really understable putter, and somebody writes, you know, Nuke OS or Machete or, you know, Champion Max or something like that. They're just trying to be funny. They think it's amusing that they're writing the complete opposite of what you're looking for. I get, that's a whole different story. It's the people who actually think they're kind of helping, but are just making ridiculous suggestions that make no sense. You know, I've even screenshotted a few of these. Understable mid-range, and somebody will say classic judge. Now, is that a joke? I don't think so. I think they're literally saying, even though you're looking for this very specific thing that you have outlined exactly what you are looking for, I don't mean to be rude, you might get some good suggestions out of these type of posts in general, but for the most part, you're really not going to. And if you say, like, what's the best putter on the market? Give us your opinion. You might as well be asking for a list of every putter in the world. That's all it's going to be. It's just going to be a list of every different putter you can possibly imagine. Maybe you could go through there and find some trends that 20 people said a classic judge, or 20 people said the classic AVR, or whatever it is, and then maybe you can use it as like a voting or something, but it's not going to work out very well. If you're trying to narrow things down, opening it up to some big suggestion on a buy and sell group or something, not really the best option in my opinion. But then there's always somebody who's like, I'm looking for an understable mid-range, and somebody will say a putter. Somebody will say, oh, why don't you just throw a Valkyrie? That's what I use for those turnover shots. And it's just like, bro, you're killing me right now. How can you fail so miserably at such a simple task as to suggest a disc for somebody that actually makes sense and is what they're asking? Really not the best option in terms of my perspective, is to open it up to discussion like that. So don't worry about that stuff. Come to the experts. Come ask me. I'll help you out. Whew, that felt good to get that off my chest. Hopefully that wasn't too negative and too rude for you guys, but hey, it can't all be peace and love, beauty and light. Sometimes there's got to be frustration. It's the lightness and the dark that makes life what it is. Unfortunately, we're in a pretty dark patch right now, but hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel for any of us that are lucky enough to make it through this thing. I can't wait to get back out on the course and enjoy all of the aspects of disc golf, whether they're frustrating or not. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Cheers.